Welcome, traveler. Tonight, you walk where few have ever dreamed to tread. Beyond the mortal world, beyond time itself, lies Asgard. A hush settles over the place where you stand. A familiar silhouette approaches from the dim edge of the sky. Calm, intentional, moving as if the air itself had made room. The wanderer lifts a hand in greeting. Traveler, the crossing opens for those who carry an open heart, they say. Above you, a single arc of pale light draws across the heavens, broad and steady, bending like a bridge shaped by long patience. It descends until it becomes a wide ribbon beneath your feet, neither solid rock nor mist, but a surface that receives each step without complaint. The wanderer steps forward. Traveler, walk slowly. Let your steps meet the road. You follow. There is no wind to tug, no vertigo to unsettle. The movement feels like passing through layers of calm, each one quieter than the last. Sounds soften. Colors simplify into clear tones. The ribbon carries you forward with gentle insistence, guiding rather than rushing. Ahead, a distant glow grows into form. Structures rest along a horizon of soft light, places built with balance and deliberate care. Their lines are composed so that nothing demands attention. Everything holds it with perfect restraint. The space breathes quietly, as if alive through steady, untroubled thought. The wanderer pauses at a low overlook. Traveler, here you will see the halls where the Aesir keep their watch and their rest. You will not find here the clamor of battle, but the measured presence of beings who tend purpose and preservation. They turn to you with an expression that asks nothing of you but to be present. You stand and take in the view. The sweep of the realm, the gentle fall of light over crafted roofs, the hint of movement where lives proceed without flourish. There is a sense of age that holds no weighty sorrow, only the patient accumulation of meaning. The wanderer inclines their head. Traveler, trust that each thing you notice will remain itself. We will not dwell twice on the same sight or feeling. Breathe, traveler, and let the realm enter you fully now. A last stretch of the ribbon waits, descending into an entry lined by a guardian whose silhouette stands ready to welcome. The wanderer steps forward and reaches out a hand. Come, traveler. Asgard awaits. The moment your feet touch the downward path, the luminous ribbon behind you fades into the sky as though it had never existed. Ahead lies ground firm and quiet, carrying a faint warmth that suggests the realm itself recognizes every step taken upon it. The wanderer walks at your side, their posture steady, their pace unhurried. Traveler, what you see now marks the true beginning, they say, their voice carrying easily through the open air. The landscape spreads wide and clear, rising and falling in gentle contours. No wind cuts across it. Instead, the air rests in a natural stillness, as if the realm observes newcomers before revealing more of itself. The wanderer gestures toward the distance. Look ahead, traveler. The first guardian stands beyond that crest. You walk until the slope lifts you slightly above the valley floor. From there, the view expands. The golden gates rise not as towering barriers, but as a monumental form shaped with precision. They are forged of a material that holds light rather than reflects it, drawing the soft glow of Asgard into their surface. Their edges are smooth and decisive, forming a perfect balance between strength and serenity. No ornamentation interrupts their structure. Their beauty comes from flawless form, not decoration. Standing before the gates is the one who keeps watch. Heimdall's figure is tall and composed, placed directly at the center of the entrance, as if his presence completes the structure itself. His stance is grounded, his attention alert but unaggressive. The lines of his armor catch the realm's ambient light in muted, steady tones, never flaring. His gaze rests on you long before you reach him. The wanderer slows. Traveler, he has known of your arrival since the moment you stepped toward the crossing. Nothing in this realm escapes his notice. As you approach, the ground underfoot becomes finely textured stone, arranged with such precision that each piece fits seamlessly into the next. No crack or uneven line breaks its pattern. The gates loom above with quiet authority, large enough to suggest vast powers within, yet shaped without intimidation. Heimdall lifts his head slightly. There is no tension in his posture, only a certainty shaped by countless eras of watching. The wanderer bows their head in respect. Guardian of the approach, I bring a traveler who walks under my guidance. Heimdall regards the wanderer for a moment. His voice emerges with an even cadence that neither rises nor falls. I sensed your path long before you reached my threshold. You bring no disturbance. The way is open. The wanderer turns slightly toward you. Traveler, step forward. You are acknowledged. Heimdall's eyes settle fully on you. There's no judgment in them, no curiosity, simply awareness sharpened into perfect clarity. For an instant, you feel the weight of his perception, not heavy, but thorough. It passes over you like a careful assessment, not invasive, but complete. If the wanderer leads you, Heimdall says, then you may cross without hesitation. With a small motion of his hand, the gates part. They do not swing or grind. They separate with absolute fluidity, the two immense sections moving as though they were made of living material responding to thought. Beyond them, a broad passage extends inward, framed by tall pillars of the same radiant substance. As you pass between the gates, Heimdall steps aside, maintaining one hand resting lightly on the hilt at his waist, not in threat, but in readiness, the posture of one who fulfills duty without strain. The wanderer inclines their head to him once more. Your vigilance remains unmatched, they say. It must, Heimdall replies. All things begin here. His attention returns to the horizon as you move forward. Inside the threshold, the scale of Asgard shifts subtly. The walkway expands into a long avenue lined with crafted forms that resemble trees in shape, though they are not grown from soil. Their surfaces hold a soft, dull gleam, rising in smooth, curved lines that arc over the path without touching. They give the impression of a canopy shaped from intention rather than nature. The space feels sheltered yet open, defined without being confined. The wanderer walks ahead, allowing you a moment to absorb the setting. Traveler, each approach within this realm carries purpose. This one prepares visitors to leave behind all expectation of noise or chaos. A faint sound reaches your ears, neither music nor wind, but a consistent hum, low and distant, like the pulse of something vast and orderly. It comes from deep within the realm, a subtle reminder that Asgard holds its own rhythm, distinct from anything beyond its borders. The wanderer glances over their shoulder. You hear the heart of this place, traveler. It maintains balance for all who dwell here. As you continue down the avenue, the structures on either side shift from abstract forms into defined shapes. Walls, alcoves, raised platforms, each crafted with unbroken surfaces and gentle curves. No harsh angles interrupt the design. Everything fits into a flowing arrangement that guides movement without directing it. Light seems to originate from the realm itself, not from a single source. It spreads evenly, creating no shadows deep enough to obscure anything. The effect is not brightness, but clarity. Everything is seen without strain. The wanderer stops at a broad landing where the path divides. To the left, the way slopes gently upward toward a distant hall with a high, arched roof. To the right, the path descends toward a quiet gathering of structures arranged around a central courtyard. Straight ahead stretches a long corridor framed by tall pillars. We turn to the corridor, the wanderer says. It leads toward the heart of reflection within this realm. Before moving, they lay a hand lightly on one of the smooth pillars. Remember this moment, traveler. The gates behind you mark the beginning, but what lies ahead shapes the meaning of your journey. You take your place beside them once more. The long corridor waits, open and steady, its length disappearing into the soft brilliance of Asgard's interior. Without haste, the wanderer begins to walk, guiding you deeper into the realm where the presence of its gods grows quietly near. The golden streets of Asgard stretch before you, each stone glimmering as if forged from captured dawn. The air hums softly, not with wind, but with purpose, a quiet resonance that seems to breathe with the realm itself. Beyond the arching gates, the wanderer leads you onward, their cloak brushing the radiant floor, reflecting light like flowing amber. Before you rises a fortress of impossible majesty. Its roof gleams with plates of gold, its pillars carved from the bones of mountains, runes spiraling up their length. This is Valaskjalf, Odin's hall, where the All-Father himself watches all the worlds. Ravens circle above the spire, Hugin and Munin, their wings leaving dark streaks across the light. The wanderer halts at the threshold. Traveler, they murmur, eyes lifted toward the hall's crown. This is where thought and memory meet. Do not fear what you will see within. Odin's gaze holds many worlds at once, and yet he will look upon you as though you were the only one. They step forward, and the doors, vast enough to swallow a mountain, open soundlessly. A warm current flows outward, carrying with it the scent of smoke, pine, and ancient ink. You cross the threshold, and silence enfolds you. Not emptiness, but reverent stillness. The ceiling seems higher than the sky outside. Threads of gold weave through it like frozen lightning, illuminating banners that hang from unseen heights. At the far end, upon a throne carved from silver ash wood, sits Odin. His one remaining eye glows with deep light, neither blue nor gold, but something older than color itself. His missing eye's shadow gleams faintly, a reminder of the well from which he drank wisdom. Two wolves rest at his feet, their gaze unwavering. The ravens land upon the arms of his throne, feathers glinting like shards of night. Odin raises a hand. The hall seems to bow around him. So, his voice rumbles, calm yet infinite. The wanderer returns, and this must be your companion. The wanderer bows deeply, their tone measured yet warm. A traveler of dreams, All-Father. One who walks the quiet paths between worlds. Odin's gaze falls upon you. It is not the look of a king upon a guest, but of eternity observing its reflection in a drop of dew. He studies you in silence for a long moment, then speaks again. Few mortals find their way here without losing themselves. You, however, stand unshaken. That is rare. You feel his words as much as hear them, a vibration threading through your chest, through your breath, through the very rhythm of your thoughts. The wanderer glances at you with a faint smile. Traveler, the All-Father measures strength not by blade nor shield, but by how still one stands in the presence of truth. Odin's expression softens, and he gestures toward the open space before the throne. Come closer. You walk forward, and the floor beneath your feet shifts subtly. Runes flare to life beneath each step, living light responding to your tread. When you stop, the glow lingers like the afterimage of stars. Odin rests his chin upon his hand. You see these halls and think them golden, bright, eternal. Yet gold fades, and halls fall. What endures is memory. He extends his other hand, and from the air, mist coils, forming a small, luminous sphere. Within it swirl images, battles, births, quiet acts of mercy, flames devouring cities, every heartbeat of every being captured in light. "This is what my ravens bring me," he continues. "The thoughts of the living, the echoes of the fallen, all woven together into the tapestry of what is." The wanderer tilts their head. "And yet, All-Father, wisdom burdens as much as it blesses." A shadow passes across Odin's face. "Indeed. To know too much is to feel every sorrow twice. Once for those who live it, and again for those who will repeat it. Still," he closes his hand, and the sphere fades into sparks that drift upward. "Without wisdom, even the gods would be blind." He rises slowly from his throne. The movement seems to shift the entire hall. Light bends around him as though reluctant to leave his form. He approaches you, the wolves padding silently beside him. When he stands before you, you feel not small, but weightless, as if time itself has paused to observe. Odin reaches out, not to touch you, but to rest his hand near your heart's level, his palm open. "You carry questions," he says softly. "Do not hide them. Even unanswered, they shape who you are. In your silence, you hold the seed of wisdom, for not all truths are spoken. Some are simply walked." The wanderer bows slightly. The traveler has come seeking understanding, not answers. To walk through the golden realm, to listen. Odin nods approvingly. "Then you will listen well here." He turns toward his throne again and gestures toward the upper chamber, where a faint shimmer moves, a lens of transparent light suspended in the air. "Look there, traveler. That is Hlidskjalf, my high seat. From there, I watch all the 9 realms. What you see through it will not be what I see, but what you are ready to understand." The wanderer steps closer to your side. "Traveler, breathe slowly." The hall listens to your stillness. The air hums as Odin lifts his hand. The lens clears, and suddenly, the space before you deepens. Through it, you glimpse flashes, worlds intertwined like threads of fire and frost. Midgard, where mortals dream beneath cold stars. Jotunheim, where giants carve mountains with their breath. Vanaheim's lush meadows glinting under endless twilight. Each realm flickers for a heartbeat, as if drawn by your presence. Then the vision slows, centering upon Asgard itself, its bridges, its towers, the rivers of light flowing beneath them. You realize that every glimmer, every motion, carries both creation and destruction in its rhythm. Beauty here is not peace, it is balance. Odin lowers his hand. The lens dims. That is the nature of Asgard and of wisdom itself, he says. To see all things as they are, bright and shadowed in equal measure. The wanderer's voice is gentle. Traveler, remember this moment. You have stood where gods dream and mortals fade. Such vision does not vanish. It lives in the silence between breaths. Odin returns to his throne, resting both hands upon its arms. His eye softens. Your path still stretches far, beyond my hall, and into the hearts of others who dwell here. Each will show you a facet of what even the gods struggle to hold. But go with this in your spirit. Wisdom is not weight, but wing. The ravens lift from the throne and circle above you once more. Their feathers scatter small motes of shadow and gold that drift down like ashes of light. The wanderer inclines their head. We thank you, All-Father. Odin's voice follows you as you turn toward the doors. Traveler, remember what you have seen. The light of Asgard is not above you, but within you. Guard it well. The doors open once more, spilling the golden breath of the realm across the floor. As you step into the radiant air beyond, the hum of Odin's hall fades, replaced by the softer murmur of distant rivers and wind whispering through the leaves of unseen groves. The wanderer walks beside you, gaze steady ahead. Come, traveler, they say. The next path leads not through stone and gold, but through the living green. Freyja awaits. The golden light of Asgard softens as you walk farther from Odin's hall. Towers melt into the distance, their brilliance replaced by the shimmer of a vast plain breathing under the afternoon sun. The wanderer walks at your side, silent at first, their staff tracing faint ripples in the air with each step. Somewhere ahead, the sound of chimes weaves through the breeze, not metallic, but living tones, like laughter carried by petals. This path, the wanderer murmurs, leads to the heart of beauty and sorrow intertwined. The realm of Freyja, goddess of love, of war, and of dreams. You pass beneath an arch woven of flowering vines that seem to glow from within. The fragrance is deep and layered. Rose, honey, rain, and something older, a sweetness tinged with longing. As you cross the threshold, the light changes. The world becomes softer, diffused, as though seen through silk. Every color gleams richer than life. Even the air feels slower, as if savoring its own movement. Before you stretches a meadow beyond measure. Its grasses shine like green gold. Its flowers sway in waves that move to a rhythm older than time. Butterflies shimmer like fragments of dawn, and from far away, a river glints, not with water, but with liquid light, flowing through fields of bloom. It hums faintly, a melody without beginning or end. "Traveler," the wanderer says, voice gentled by the scene. "This is Folkvanger, Freyja's domain. Here rests the half of warriors she claims from battle, not for glory, but for peace." A soft wind stirs. From it, a figure approaches, radiant, yet not blinding. Freyja walks toward you, barefoot upon the meadow. Her hair, golden as ripe wheat, ripples as though it carries sunlight itself. Around her neck gleams Brisingamen, the fabled necklace, its jewels shifting in hue with each breath she takes. Her eyes, deep as summer skies before a storm, hold the quiet knowing of someone who has seen love born and broken across ages. When she reaches you, the world seems to bow in silence. "Welcome, traveler," she says, her voice melodic yet solemn. "And welcome, wanderer, who guides even the dreamers of gods." The wanderer bows slightly. "Lady of desire and dawn, we seek the wisdom that lives beneath beauty, the kind that heals even when it aches." Freyja smiles faintly. "Then you have come to the right place." She gestures, and the meadow stirs in response. The flowers shift, aligning into spirals and circles, forming a vast living pattern that radiates outward from her feet. "Every blossom here," she says, "was born from a memory. Joy, loss, the breath before battle, the silence after. Love, in all its forms, blooms here and fades, and blooms again." She looks toward you. "Traveler, walk among them." You step forward, the petals brushing lightly against your skin. The sensation is cool, weightless. As you move, faint whispers rise from the blooms, not voices, but impressions. A promise whispered under moonlight, a tear shed for a name forgotten, a heartbeat too quick to last. Each sound fades as soon as it forms, dissolving into the next. The meadow is not a place of permanence, but of remembrance. The wanderer follows, their gaze softened by reflection. Love is the thread that binds the realms. they say. Even the gods are shaped by it. Freyja nods.
And yet, they fear it most.
She lowers herself to sit upon the grass, and the flowers curve around her like loyal companions.
Love demands surrender. To feel is to risk, to open, to be undone. Many would rather wield a blade than a heart.
Her eyes lift to you again.
Traveler, do you know why mortals dream of love even when it hurts?
She doesn't wait for an answer.
Because through it, they touch eternity. Every affection, every ache, every fleeting tenderness, all of it reaches beyond death. That is why I keep this meadow. It remembers those who dared to feel.
The wanderer kneels beside her, resting a hand upon the ground. Your realm is filled with beauty, and yet there is sorrow beneath it. Freyja's smile dims.
Because beauty without sorrow is only ornament, wanderer. The bloom needs the dusk. The heart needs loss to know its own depth.
She rises again, her movements like flowing water.
Come. There is something you must see.
You follow her to the river of light. It glows with a brilliance that reflects stars you cannot see above. As you near, you realize the river carries not water, but shimmering memories. Faces, moments, laughter, farewells. They drift within the current, luminous and endless.
This,
Freyja says,
is the Veil Stream. Every time a heart loves and is loved in return, its echo joins these waters. When mortals sleep, they sometimes hear its song and call it a dream.
The wanderer watches the flow in silence, then speaks softly. Even the gods long for what mortals feel freely. Freyja looks away, the light catching in her eyes.
You are not wrong. I have loved and lost, and still I love again. That is both my gift and my grief.
The river's surface stirs as she extends her hand over it. The light gathers beneath her palm and rises into the air, forming an image. Two warriors, hand in hand, walking across a field of flame. They vanish in the next breath, leaving behind only the faint scent of rain.
Every joy is borrowed,
she says.
But even borrowed joy is worth the price.
The wanderer turns to you. Traveler, remember this. The gods are not immune to longing. To love is to accept impermanence, and through it, to understand what truly endures. Freyja steps closer to you, her expression soft but piercing.
Traveler, you walk with the wanderer between realms. Do not let distance make you forget the warmth of the living. carry beauty as a flame, not as a mirror. Let it light your way, but do not mistake its reflection for truth.
You feel warmth radiate through you, not from her hand, but from her presence itself. It fills your chest like a quiet sunrise, and for a heartbeat, you sense every memory of love you've ever known flickering together. Faces, laughter, even loss, all transformed into light. Freyja withdraws her hand.
You understand,
She says simply.
that is enough.
The wind picks up, scattering petals into the air. They swirl around you both in golden spirals, carried upward until they dissolve into the bright horizon. Freyja looks toward the far hills where the meadow fades into groves of silver trees.
Your journey continues. Beyond those trees lies the orchard of Iðunn, keeper of the apples that renew the gods. Her wisdom is quiet, but eternal.
The wanderer bows. We are honored, Lady Freyja. Freyja's smile returns, faint but radiant.
Then go, wanderer. Go, traveler. The meadow will remember your footsteps, and the river will dream of them.
The air shimmers, and the sound of chimes rises once more, not from any instrument, but from the flowers themselves. As you and the wanderer walk onward, the meadow slowly fades behind you, its colors melting into the silver green of the approaching grove. The wanderer glances your way. Traveler, they say gently, you have seen love in its purest form, beauty that does not cling, sorrow that does not wound. Hold that stillness within you. Ahead, the air grows cooler, touched by the scent of fruit and rain. The path narrows, winding between trees whose bark gleams like bronze in the half-light. The wanderer's voice lowers to a reverent whisper. We are near Idunn's orchard. Come, traveler. Life eternal waits among her branches. The path leaving Freyja's meadow narrows into a soft rise, leading toward a gentle glow spilling between tall shapes. The wanderer walks ahead, their steps soundless through grass that shifts from gold to pale green as you move deeper into the grove. You feel the air cool around you, carrying with it a faint trace of dew mixed with something sweet, the promise of fruit not made by mortal hands. We approach a place of renewal. Traveler, the wanderer says softly. Here, the gods bind their immortality not through power, but through care. And she who tends that bond waits for us. You crest the small rise, and the world opens into a quiet sanctuary. A vast orchard arranged in concentric rings, trees rising in perfect symmetry. Their trunks are slender and silvery, their leaves long and delicate, shimmering with a soft green luminescence. The branches curve gracefully, some heavy with fruit that gleams like captured sunrise. Others seem to cradle blossoms instead, pale, translucent petals that look ready to dissolve into light. The ground is carpeted with moss, springy beneath your feet, glowing faintly with golden flecks. A sense of deep restfulness settles into you, not sleepiness, but a gentle ease, as though the orchard breathes out calm and invites you to join its rhythm. The wanderer inhales deeply. This place holds more than nourishment, traveler. It contains the very balance of existence for those who dwell in Asgard. A figure moves between the trees. Her approach is unhurried, graceful, almost like a leaf floating on a breeze. Iðunn emerges from the grove, her presence subtle yet radiant. Her hair resembles threads of sunlight woven with strands of amber, falling freely over her shoulders. Her eyes hold the warm clarity of early morning, and in her hands rests a carved wooden bowl filled with apples, each one glowing from within, their light shifting gently like small beating hearts. She stops before you both, offering a serene smile.
Welcome, traveler. Welcome, wanderer. You walk among the roots of eternity.
The wanderer bows. Keeper of renewal, we seek the wisdom of growth and the quiet truth you guard. Idunn's voice is light but steady.
Then you have come to a place that speaks through harmony. Here, every leaf remembers spring, and every branch carries the promise of return.
She extends the bowl slightly toward you, not for you to take, but for you to see. The apples emit a soft glow, each hue different: gold, green, rose, and the faintest violet.
These fruits are not merely sustenance,
she says.
They are cycles given form. Each holds a season, a memory, a return to what has always been.
A small breeze moves through the orchard. The leaves rustle in a pattern that sounds almost like quiet speech. Iðunn turns her gaze toward the trees.
Listen, traveler. They speak of renewal without end. When a leaf falls, the tree grieves it gently, then welcomes the next with the same tenderness. There is no fear of change here, only trust.
She walks deeper into the orchard, motioning for you and the wanderer to follow. You step beneath branches that arch overhead, forming a shifting canopy of green and gold light. Each movement of the leaves creates a soft ripple of illumination across the moss. The wanderer watches the trees thoughtfully. Traveler, notice how nothing rushes. Everything follows its purpose without restlessness. Renewal is patience made visible. You reach the inner ring of the orchard, where the trees grow taller, their trunks more entwined, their branches forming natural archways. In the center stands a single immense tree, its bark smooth and dark as polished stone. Its branches hold both blossoms and fruit, each glowing brighter than any around them. Beneath it lies a pool of water, so still it reflects the branches with perfect clarity.
This,
Iðunn says,
is the heart tree. From it, all renewal begins. Every fruit in this orchard draws its vitality from its roots. And likewise, every god draws strength from the fruits themselves.
She kneels beside the pool.
Traveler, approach. Let it show you the rhythm that sustains even the divine.
You step toward the water. As you look into it, movement stirs within its depths. Not reflection, but memory. You see a leaf sprouting, unfolding, flourishing, fading, falling. Then another growing where the first once lived. Then a third. A fourth. The cycle repeats, seamless and perpetual. The wanderer stands beside you. Traveler, this is the truth most overlook. Immortality is not endless life, but endless becoming. Iðunn touches the surface of the water. The ripples spread outward, carrying new images. Gods laughing beneath blooming branches, resting in quiet shade, taking fruit with gratitude rather than entitlement. You sense that even the mightiest in Asgard bow before the simplicity of this place. Iðunn rises again, her expression warm.
Traveler, do you know why the orchard is hidden from most eyes? Because renewal requires humility. All beings, even gods, must acknowledge their need to begin again.
The wanderer nods. A truth many struggle to accept. Iðunn steps closer to you. The light of the orchard catches in her eyes, making them glow softly.
Traveler, you walk between realms. Do not forget your own renewal. Even dreams can tire. Even wonder can dim. Rest your spirit when it grows heavy. Begin again when it grows still.
She lifts one of the apples, a small golden one, and holds it gently.
This fruit is not for eating,
she explains.
It is for understanding.
She brings it near your chest, and the glow shifts subtly, aligning with your breath. You feel warmth spread through your ribs, then your shoulders, finally settling deep within. It is not power, not strength, but clarity. A quiet reminder that nothing inside you must remain as it is forever. The wanderer watches closely. Traveler, renew your path as the orchard renews itself. Let go and let grow. Iðunn lowers the glowing fruit back into the bowl. The warmth lingers within you, steady and comforting. She takes a small step back, her expression serene.
Your journey continues beyond this grove. Others await with their own truths, their own forms of guidance. But remember this, traveler. Without renewal, no wisdom endures.
The breeze returns, carrying with it a cascade of pale petals that drift around you in slow swirls. Each petal glows faintly before touching the ground and becoming part of the moss. Iðunn lifts her hand in a gentle farewell.
May your steps remain ever new.
The wanderer bows once more. We are grateful, keeper of the orchard. As you leave the grove, the light dims behind you, melding back into the tall silver trunks. Ahead, the land slopes into a quiet valley where distant thunder rumbles softly. Not with storm, but with presence. The wanderer turns to you with a knowing look. Traveler, the next path leads to a protector whose strength carries peace as its core. Thor awaits in his quiet sanctuary. The soft glow of Idunn's orchard fades behind you, replaced by air that carries a low vibration, like distant thunder folded beneath the horizon. The wanderer moves ahead, following a trail carved not by hands, but by the steady path of something vast and ancient. The light shifts subtly as you walk, gold dissolving into a deep blue-gray, the color of a calm sky before rain. Traveler, the wanderer says, their tone reverent. Many know Thor as the hammer's hand, the storm's roar. But here, beyond his hall of battles, lies the peace that tempers his strength. You will find no clash of arms where we go, only the heart that keeps the storm from breaking. The ground rises in gentle slopes. Each step brings a subtle warmth through your souls, the pulse of lightning long past but not forgotten. The air thickens with quiet energy, not oppressive, but living, as if charged with anticipation. Ahead, the landscape opens into a valley cradled by smooth ridges of stone. At its center stands a great dwelling, Bilskirnir, Thor's home. Its walls are built not for grandeur, but for endurance, shaped from gray stone streaked with veins of silver that catch the faintest light. Smoke curls upward from its roof in slow, measured breaths, carrying the scent of pine and rain-soaked earth. The wanderer stops and turns slightly toward you. Traveler, you are welcome here. Thor guards not through suspicion, but through care. His strength sustains this realm's quiet balance. As you approach, the doors swing open without sound. A cool draft brushes your skin, carrying the soft rhythm of a hearth deep within. Inside, the vast hall feels alive with presence yet still. The ceiling beams are carved from oak so ancient they seem fossilized, their grain marked by streaks of pale silver. Lightning once touched them, and the scars remain, faint reminders of power held, not unleashed. Seated near the hearth is Thor. His form is immense, but it is not the size that commands your attention. It is the calm gravity that surrounds him. His hair is the color of firelight seen through iron. His beard, a tangle of gold and shadow. Mjolnir rests beside him, laid flat upon the stone floor. The hammer is smaller than legend paints it, but the air around it hums softly, alive with restrained might. When Thor lifts his gaze, his eyes are neither fierce nor proud. They are kind, deep wells of blue where storms sleep peacefully. His voice, when it comes, rolls through the hall like distant thunder softened by rain. Wanderer, and you, traveler, welcome to my quiet hour. The wanderer bows deeply. Thunderer, we come not seeking power, but peace. The traveler walks the golden realm to learn its heart without the noise of its legends. Thor leans back slightly, studying you both. Peace is a rarer thing than strength, he says. Many chase might believing it grants calm, yet find only more struggle. He gestures to the seats near the hearth. Sit. Let the warmth remind you that power, when still, does not fade. It refines. You sit. The air here carries a faint vibration, steady as a heartbeat. Sparks rise lazily from the fire, each one glowing brighter before dissolving mid-air. The silence is profound, but not empty. It feels filled with a hum that matches your own breath. The wanderer watches the hearth, eyes reflecting its light. There is balance here, they say softly. A stillness built from the remnants of storm. Thor nods. A storm must know when to rest, or it becomes ruin. I have learned this over endless battles. Each victory teaches little. Each pause teaches much. He picks up a small cup carved from polished stone and holds it toward you. Traveler, this is the drink of calm. Water gathered from the edges of lightning's fall. Taste it with thought. You take the cup and sip. The liquid is cool, clear, and oddly alive. It leaves a faint tingle on your tongue, a hum through your veins, but no heat, no fire, only clarity. The thunder in the distance fades completely, replaced by the faintest murmur of rain somewhere beyond the hall. Thor smiles faintly. Even the fiercest lightning begins as quiet air. Remember that. He leans forward, resting his elbows upon his knees. Many forget that the storm has two hearts, one that breaks and one that mends. I am the keeper of both. Yet only through restraint can either endure. The wanderer listens with quiet respect. Few speak of your gentleness, Thunderer. Thor's gaze softens further. Gentleness is not weakness, Wanderer. It is the strength to withhold one's fury when all the world invites it. He rises, moving toward the hall's open doors. Beyond them, the valley stretches, and a single bolt of lightning flickers far off, distant and silent. "Look there," he says. "That is where the storms are born. But I no longer chase them. They come when needed, and they leave when balance returns." You and the wanderer follow him outside. The air greets you with a cool freshness, laced with rain. The valley glows faintly under the shifting clouds. The ridges hum with the remnants of power, not wild, but tamed, resting like sleeping dragons. Thor's hand rests lightly on the haft of Mjolnir. "Traveler," he says, "strength is not the shout that fills the sky, but the silence that follows. The still air after thunder carries more truth than the storm itself." The wanderer glances toward you. Hear him well, traveler. This silence is the echo of mastery. Thor looks skyward, where the clouds part to reveal a thin line of light. "One day," he says quietly, "the storms within you will find this same calm. Let them. They will return, and they will leave. Each time, they will leave more space for peace." The wind stirs gently, touching his hair. For an instant, you see the god not as a warrior or thunderer, but as a guardian of balance, the bridge between chaos and calm. Thor turns back toward his hall. "My sanctuary stands for all who walk between fury and quiet," he says. "Remember that, traveler. Let your storms teach you, but never rule you." He inclines his head to the wanderer. "Guide them well. The next path winds deep, toward the wells where wisdom sleeps beneath the roots." The wanderer bows. "We thank you, protector of balance." Thor's lips curve into a small, knowing smile. "Then go, before the skies forget their peace." You follow the wanderer down the valley's edge. The air lightens with each step, the sound of thunder receding behind you until it becomes nothing more than a memory folded into silence. The clouds disperse, revealing a pale horizon touched by gold. The wanderer looks ahead. Traveler, the next truth lies not in the heavens, but in the depths. Beneath Asgard's roots, wisdom waits in still waters. A faint glimmer appears far below, reflections shifting through shadow. The wanderer's voice drops to a murmur. Come, traveler. Mímir's wells await. The last echo of thunder fades as the ground beneath your feet begins to cool. The light that filled the air in Thor's valley softens into a subdued glow that seems to rise not from the sky, but from below. The wanderer walks beside you in silence, their eyes fixed ahead. The path tilts gently downward, and the soil grows darker, scattered with small stones that gleam faintly like fragments of memory. Traveler, the wanderer says at last, the next truth sleeps beneath the roots of the world. Few walk willingly into stillness this deep, but wisdom, like a seed, lives in darkness before it blooms. The land flattens into a broad plain of smooth rock. In the distance, you see the base of something immense, the roots of Yggdrasil, the world tree. They stretch outward in colossal arcs, thicker than mountains, their bark alive with soft light that pulses slowly, as though the tree itself breathes. Between the roots lies a basin of black stone, filled with water so calm that it mirrors the heavens perfectly. The air here is cool, not cold, and carries a scent of minerals and time. Each sound you make, each footstep, each breath, seems absorbed rather than echoed, as though the space itself listens. The wanderer stops a short distance from the basin. Here rests the well of Mímir, they say. Its depths hold memory older than creation, and knowledge too heavy for most hearts. The All-Father gave an eye for a single draught, and still he thirsts. You approach slowly. The well's edge is lined with runes too faint to read, shifting in the dim light. As you near, the surface trembles, not from wind, but from recognition. A shimmer passes through it, and a figure begins to take form upon the opposite side. Mímir stands before you, half in shadow, half in glow. His face is marked by the wear of eternity, yet his gaze is steady and lucid. His hair falls like threads of ash, and in his hand he holds a staff carved from the same wood as the world tree's roots. When he speaks, his voice is neither young nor old. It is the sound of thought given form.
wanderer, traveler.
He inclines his head in greeting.
You have come far to stand at the edge of knowing. Few reach this well and still remember to breathe.
The wanderer bows slightly. Guardian of the deep, we seek the wisdom that endures, not the knowledge of dominion, but of harmony. Mímir's eyes gleam faintly, like light through clear ice.
Wisdom endures only for those who ask without desire. Tell me, wanderer, what does your companion seek?
The wanderer looks at you, then answers, understanding, not possession. To see without claiming. A small smile touches Mímir's lips.
Then the well will not turn them away.
He steps aside, revealing the water more clearly. Beneath its surface, faint images drift, not reflections, but memories of the realms. Mountains collapsing into seas, stars rising and dimming, roots reaching through time. The water's calm conceals infinite motion.
Traveler,
Mímir says,
come closer. Let the well see you.
You step to the edge. The air thickens slightly, as if the world itself leans closer to listen. The water brightens under your gaze, and a low hum fills your chest. Slow, resonant, and familiar, though you've never heard it before. The wanderer places a hand on your shoulder, steadying your breath. Wisdom greets in silence, they whisper. Let the stillness speak. From the depths of the well, a voice not made of sound rises within you. A whisper that shapes no words, only meaning. You feel time folding, centuries compressed into moments. The birth of rivers, the fading of stars, the patience of roots that never cease growing. Every vision carries no command, no lesson, only presence, awareness observing itself. Mímir closes his eyes.
The well remembers all things that have ever been known. Yet wisdom is not in the memory, but in how one listens.
The wanderer asks softly, and what of those who seek too much? Mímir opens his eyes again, their clarity almost blinding.
They drown. Not in water, but in themselves. Knowledge without stillness consumes. Even gods tremble before that truth.
He lifts his staff and touches its end to the surface. Ripples spread outward, forming circles that move toward you. When they reach your feet, they stop abruptly, the water returning to stillness as if nothing had disturbed it.
The well accepts your presence, traveler,
Mímir says.
It will offer you one glimpse, not of what is, nor what will be, but of what connects all things.
The water darkens, Then light bursts outward from its center, forming a spiral that expands until it fills your vision. Within it, you see not scenes or faces, but threads, endless, glowing strands woven together, crossing and uncrossing. Each thread hums faintly, and as you watch, you realize that each carries both sorrow and joy in equal measure. Every realm, every being, every moment is one part of this great weave. The wanderer whispers near your ear, "Traveler, this is the pattern of balance. What one breaks, another mends. What one forgets, another remembers." The light fades. The water clears again, revealing only your reflection. But your reflection seems older somehow, wiser in posture, as if touched by unseen years. Mímir lowers his staff.
"You have seen enough. The well gives only once. What remains is yours to carry."
He turns his gaze to both of you.
"Remember, wisdom is not an answer. It is a weight that grows lighter only when shared."
The wanderer bows. "Then we will carry it with care." Mímir's expression softens.
"You have done so already. The paths of Asgard bend toward harmony when walked in reverence. Go now, before the water begins to remember you too clearly."
The glow within the well dims, and the light along the roots flickers gently, signaling closure. The air seems to release a long, patient breath. You step back, and the wanderer joins you, their eyes thoughtful. "Traveler," they say, "you have touched the heart of understanding. But remember, wisdom without compassion is stone. The next path leads to one who weaves compassion into fate itself." Mímir raises a hand in farewell.
"Walk softly, both of you. The Norns listen even when they do not speak."
The roots around the basin stir faintly, parting just enough to reveal a narrow stair carved into the living wood. The wanderer gestures for you to follow. "Traveler, this way." Frigg waits where threads become destiny. As you descend, the light from above filters through the roots in long silver shafts. Each pulse from the world tree echoes within your chest. Slow, rhythmic, eternal. The scent of the deep earth fades into one of woven cloth and cool air. The wanderer's voice drifts ahead, quiet and certain. "Come, traveler. Frigg and the threads of fate await." The stair that leads you upward through the liver roots of Yggdrasil seems endless at first, each step carved from the heartwood itself, polished by ages of passage. Faint lines of light pulse within the grain, illuminating the way as though the tree itself guides you. The air is still, cool, touched with the scent of linen and smoke, the fragrance of a place where time is woven rather than measured. The wanderer's voice breaks the hush, calm but reverent. Traveler, beyond these roots lies Fensalir, the Hall of Frigg, Queen of Asgard, weaver of the unseen design. Here, all paths are gathered, though few ever recognize their own thread. As you rise, the space opens. The wooden corridor fades into a wide chamber bathed in gentle radiance. Long curtains drift from unseen rafters, pale as dawn mist, embroidered with countless runes that shift like living symbols. Each movement of the fabric changes the hall's color. Now silver, now pale gold, now the faint blue of moonlight. At the center sits Frigg, calm and radiant. Her hair, pale as frost beneath sunlight, falls loose over robes of soft gray and white. Around her loom, threads that stretch from the floor to the ceiling, shimmering like starlight caught in rain. They move with slow precision, intertwining, separating, returning, a living tapestry that fills the air with a faint hum. When she looks toward you, her eyes hold both tenderness and distance, as though she sees not who you are, but everything that has shaped you.
"Welcome, wanderer,"
she says, her tone both greeting and memory.
"And welcome, traveler. The path you walk has already been felt here, long before your first step."
The wanderer bows low. Lady of foresight and silence, we come to seek understanding of the threads that bind the worlds. The traveler walks in wonder, learning the harmony of all things. Frigg gestures gracefully toward the shifting tapestry.
"Then behold harmony made visible. Every choice, every thought, every breath adds a single strand to this weaving. Nothing vanishes, nothing stands alone."
You gaze upon the threads. Colors bloom and fade within them. Copper and emerald, ivory and shadow. Some threads glow brighter, others flicker faintly. Together, they move like waves, flowing through each other with purpose that feels both deliberate and kind. Frigg rises from her seat.
"Come closer, traveler. The tapestry responds to presence, not words."
You step forward. As you near, the threads closest to you begin to shimmer more brightly. Their motion slows, then steadies, as though recognizing your nearness. The faint hum deepens into a soft harmony that vibrates through your ribs. The wanderer stands beside you, speaking quietly. Each thread holds both joy and sorrow, traveler. Neither can exist alone. Frigg sees them not as opposites, but as partners. Frigg inclines her head.
That is so. Even the gods must yield to what they weave. Fate is not command, but understanding.
She gestures with her hand, and a section of the tapestry parts, revealing 3 luminous strands that twist together before your eyes.
These are your moments, she says. The first, the beginning of your wonder. The second, your doubt. The third, what you will become when both have found balance.
The light shifts across the 3 strands, and for an instant, you glimpse movement within them. Faint images of your journey through the realms. The gates, Odin's hall, Freyja's meadow, the orchard, the sanctuary, the well, all flowing into one another like reflections on water. Yet what lies beyond the last thread remains veiled. Frigg touches one of the glowing fibers.
Do not seek to see your ending, traveler. It will come without your asking, and it will be good in its own time.
The wanderer looks to her. Many believe fate is fixed, lady. Yet you speak of it as if it listens. Frigg smiles, a smile both serene and sad.
It listens always, but it speaks softly. Only those who move with patience hear its voice. Even Odin peers through veils he cannot lift.
Her gaze returns to you.
Traveler, your silence is your strength. Where others demand, you observe. Through observation, you shape the gentlest changes of all.
The hall grows quieter. Even the threads seem to slow, their movement matching your breath. A low breeze moves through the curtains, carrying with it a sound like whispered names, too many to discern, yet each distinct in rhythm. Frigg extends her hand, palm upward. Threads of light unravel from the tapestry and gather above her skin, forming a glowing sphere of woven strands.
This is the loom's heart, she says. It holds the pulse of every realm, the slow harmony that binds all existence. To look upon it is to see connection, not control.
She turns her open hand toward you, and the woven light expands gently until it surrounds you both. Within it, images shimmer faintly. Not places, but feelings. Calm after storm, warmth shared in solitude, the quiet certainty of renewal. You realize they are echoes of what each god has given you along this journey. The wanderer speaks softly. The threads remember every kindness. Frigg nods.
As do all who walk with open hearts.
light folds inward again, returning to her palm.
"Traveler,"
she says,
"what you learn in these halls will fade from memory when you wake, but it will live in your manner, in how you see, how you pause, how you forgive. Wisdom is not what you keep, but what you become."
She steps closer and touches her fingers to your forehead. The touch carries no heat, no chill, only weightless understanding. A gentle current runs through you, clearing away thought until only awareness remains. For a heartbeat, you feel the vast weave stretching through time, every life and every choice touching yours like threads, crossing an endless, quiet motion. Then the sensation fades, leaving only stillness. Frigg lowers her hand.
"The pattern is whole again,"
she murmurs.
"You may go with peace. Others await your passage."
The wanderer bows deeply. "We thank you, Lady of the Threads. Your grace endures beyond the telling." Frigg's eyes soften.
"And you, wanderer, continue your task with wisdom earned. Guide this traveler well. Their journey still has one step left, upon the bark where stars take root."
She lifts her gaze toward the ceiling. The curtains begin to move more swiftly, their shifting light forming a spiral that opens above you, revealing a glimpse of night sky, not black, but alive with points of fire swaying gently like lanterns. The wanderer looks upward, then to you. Traveler, our final path climbs higher than light itself. The outer bark of Yggdrasil awaits, the bridge between realms where thought becomes silence. Frigg inclines her head once more.
"Go, both of you. Carry the calm of fate, not its fear."
The hall brightens, and the curtains rise as though stirred by unseen wind. The woven threads shimmer, and you feel them loosen slightly, not breaking, but allowing passage. A quiet path of light extends from Frigg's dais to the open sky above. The wanderer gestures forward. Traveler, the ascent begins. You step onto the path, feeling its solidity beneath your feet, even as the hall fades into brilliance behind you. The hum of the tapestry follows you for a while, a low, comforting note, until even that fades, replaced by the vast stillness of the heights ahead. The wanderer's voice drifts beside you, steady and low. "Come, traveler. One journey remains, the walk along the outer bark of the world tree." The path of woven light unfolds upward until it merges with the breath of the heavens. the air grows thin yet vibrant, scented faintly with resin and frost. The world below fades into soft radiance, its details melting into one vast, golden haze. The wanderer moves beside you, their pace measured, the staff in their hand leaving no mark upon the path. Each step seems to lift you farther from weight, as though gravity itself loosens its hold in reverence to where you go. "Traveler," the wanderer says, their voice hushed yet sure, "you now walk upon the outer skin of the world tree. What you see here are not clouds, nor stars as mortals know them, but the seeds of worlds unformed. Every pulse within this bark is a heartbeat of creation. Before you stretches the colossal curve of Yggdrasil, its bark rising in ridges and valleys that extend into infinity. The surface gleams faintly with threads of silver light that move like veins beneath living skin. Vast fissures divide the landscape, glowing softly within, and from them flows a mist that smells of rain newly born. Far above, the branches vanish into light so pure it feels like sound turned visible. You and the wanderer walk along a ledge that winds around the trunk. Beneath your feet, the bark hums, a tone deep and serene, more felt than heard. Each step adds a quiet note to the tree's vast chorus. The wanderer stops and turns to you. Every realm, traveler, Asgard, Midgard, all others, clings to this being's life. The tree does not rule. It sustains. Its strength is gentleness beyond imagining. You gaze across the endless surface. In the distance, faint flickers rise and fall, the glow of countless worlds resting on the branches like fireflies that never fade. Between them flow faint streams of light, paths of connection, binding every place and every soul. Traveler, the wanderer continues, each light you see is a breath of existence, neither greater nor lesser than the next. Remember this when you think of gods and mortals alike. The air stirs softly, and a shape begins to form ahead. A slender figure woven of light and bark dust, neither spirit nor flesh. It glides forward on unseen winds and speaks in a voice that sounds like many whispers braided into one. You walk the living skin, it says. You hear the breath of Yggdrasil itself. The wanderer bows slightly. Keeper of the outer bark, we seek to understand the balance that binds above and below. The figure tilts its head, studying you both. Balance is not kept. It renews itself with every heartbeat of the tree. The roots drink memory. The branches give promise. You, traveler, are both. Remembrance and possibility entwined. Its form flickers, scattering particles of light that drift like falling seeds. When the brightness clears, you stand once more, alone, upon the great expanse. The wanderer's voice is quiet. This is the edge of all realms. Beyond here lies only stillness, not death, but silence too wide for form to exist. Every being must turn back before they lose themselves in that vastness. You walk on. The air begins to vibrate gently, the hum of the tree deepening until it feels like the rhythm of your own pulse. Stars seem to hang not above, but within you. The bark beneath your feet darkens from silver to deep amber, warm and luminous. Far below, lightning threads through the roots, connecting with hidden wells. Above, leaves the size of continents unfurl and retract in slow, dreamlike motion. The wanderer halts again. Traveler, we have reached the point where thought gives way to knowing. They point toward a fissure ahead, a narrow opening in the bark from which light pours in slow cascades. Within, faint movements shimmer like rivers flowing backward through time. There, they say, is the stream of renewal. Even the gods draw from it when the ages grow heavy. You approach the fissure. Its edges glow softly, pulsing in rhythm with your heartbeat. When you look inside, the light does not blind. It invites. Within the glow, shapes shift. Memories, visions, reflections of all you've seen in Asgard. Heimdall's watch, Odin's wisdom, Freyja's compassion, Iðunn's renewal, Thor's calm, Mímir's depth, Frigg's weave, all merge into one vast movement of balance. None dominate, all harmonize. The wanderer steps closer, their voice no louder than a whisper. This, traveler, is the truth Asgard protects. Not might, nor permanence, but harmony born of difference. Each god you've met guards a part of this unity. You, too, are now part of it. The fissure brightens as though acknowledging the words. A breeze flows from it, gentle, warm, carrying faint fragrances of every place you've walked. Orchard sweetness, meadow bloom, the clean breath of rain after thunder. The wind circles you, weaving through your hair and clothing like a quiet benediction. Traveler, says the wanderer, this blessing is the tree's gift. It marks that your journey is known. You close your eyes, and the wind becomes music. Soft tones rising and falling, matching the rhythm of the tree's hum. The sound carries meaning rather than melody. Gratitude, unity, rest. When it fades, silence returns. The deep, endless kind that contains everything rather than lacks it. The wanderer watches you for a moment, then speaks again. Our path turns homeward now. The realms have offered all they can. You carry their peace within you, whether you remember it or not. They raise their staff and tap it once upon the bark. The impact echoes through the trunk like a heartbeat amplified to fill the world. A wave of light spreads outward, curling around the curve of Yggdrasil until it vanishes beyond sight. When it fades, a new path appears, a ribbon of golden dust spiraling downward, leading toward the faint shimmer of the realms below. "Traveler," the wanderer says softly, "our descent begins." You take a final look across the expanse. The tree stretches without end, alive with light, its branches breathing stars into being. For a fleeting instant, you feel as though you can sense every world below, every heart, every song, every silence. And then the feeling passes, leaving behind a single thought that is not thought, but truth. Everything belongs. You step onto the golden path. It carries you gently downward, weightless and sure. The air warms as you descend, the stars thinning into the pale glow of dawn. The hum of Yggdrasil fades until it becomes a pulse deep within your own chest. Quiet, steady, eternal. The wanderer walks beside you, their expression serene. "You have walked through the golden realm of the Aesir," they say. "You have seen wisdom, peace, and love in their truest forms. When you return to the waking world, these things will sleep within you, but they will not die. They will wait." The golden dust dissolves beneath your feet, leaving you standing once more upon familiar ground. Neither Asgard nor Earth, but the soft threshold between them. The light of the realms hovers faintly at the edges of your sight, fading even as you try to hold it. The wanderer lowers their hood, revealing calm eyes that reflect 1,000 unseen skies. "Traveler, your journey through Asgard ends here. Yet every ending is a beginning unseen. The tree will remember your steps. So will I." They raise a hand in farewell. "Rest now, traveler. Dream gently of the halls and meadows, the fruit and wells, the thunder and silence. All are within you still." The last of the light drifts upward, merging with the first stars of evening. You breathe once, twice, and feel the echo of Asgard's calm settle deep within your spirit. Then the world grows still again, and only the wanderer's voice remains, soft as a final chord fading into eternity. "Come, traveler," they whisper. "The dream is done." Night settles once more, gentle and endless. The last light of Asgard lingers only as a soft glow behind your closed eyes, dissolving into memory. Around you lies stillness, not the silence of absence, but the deep calm of completion. You breathe, and the air carries faint traces of everything you have touched: golden halls, silver leaves, quiet thunder, rippling wells, and the soft hum of Yggdrasil beneath your feet. The wanderer stands beside you, as they have since the first step, their form faint against the dim horizon. Their cloak moves lightly in a breeze that seems to rise from nowhere and everywhere at once. For a long time, neither of you speak. The calm between worlds needs no words. When they finally do, their voice is low and steady. Traveler, you have walked the golden realm of the Aesir and returned whole. Few have crossed its gates and found peace instead of awe. They glance upward, where the faint shimmer of the northern lights begins to gather once more, folding and stretching like the memory of Bifrost itself. You have seen the gods not as legends carved in stone, but as keepers of harmony. Odin's wisdom, Freyja's compassion, Iðunn's renewal, Thor's balance, Mímir's knowing, Frigg's grace. Each of them gave you a fragment of what sustains the realms. And now, those fragments live within you. The light shifts above you, forming threads of green and violet that ripple across the sky. It is not Asgard's radiance now, but something gentler, a reflection that belongs to your own world. The wanderer watches it, then turns back to you. Traveler, the gods do not vanish when you wake. They become quiet, waiting behind every kindness, every patient breath, every act that brings calm instead of chaos. They step closer, their eyes steady and warm. You have carried yourself through wisdom without seeking power, through beauty without possession, through silence without fear. That is the truest lesson the realms can offer. A faint rustle stirs the air, leaves unseen, perhaps imagined, as the wanderer continues. Every dream leaves a trace. When the world feels heavy, close your eyes and you will find the orchard's glow, the meadow's song, the whisper of the wells. They are yours now, not as visions, but as ways of being. They lift their hand and point toward the horizon. It glimmers faintly, the color of early dawn. That is your path home. Step toward it when you are ready. There is no rush. The dream waits only as long as you need it to. You stand still, listening. Somewhere, distant yet near, a single tone vibrates, the same low hum that filled the roots of Yggdrasil. It echoes through your chest, through the rhythm of your breath, until it feels indistinguishable from your heartbeat. The wanderer smiles faintly. That sound, traveler, is the reminder that all things are connected. What you do in one moment ripples through many worlds. Carry that knowledge with gentleness. They lower their hand, and their tone softens further. You will not see Asgard again as you saw it tonight. Dreams never repeat themselves. But when you need its calm, its strength, its light, it will find you. For those who walk in reverence never truly leave what they love. The air brightens slowly, the aurora thinning into pale ribbons of light. The first whisper of morning touches the sky, and the world around you feels lighter, more familiar. The wanderer's outline begins to fade into that dawn. Traveler, they say one last time, voice barely above a breath. Your journey was not to discover the gods, but to remember what of them lives in you. You have walked their peace. Now, bring it home. They step backward into the light. For a moment, you see the glint of their eyes, steady, kind, eternal, and then they are gone, leaving only the faint echo of their footsteps and the soft wind that carries their farewell. The northern sky widens above, luminous and vast. You close your eyes and inhale deeply, feeling the calm settle through you like the breath of a world newly made. The hum of the tree, the warmth of the orchard, the stillness of the hall, all linger quietly within your chest, not as memories, but as presence. The journey has ended, but its peace remains. And as you drift into rest, you hear the wanderer's voice one final time, distant and tender, carried through the quiet. Sleep well, traveler. The gods remember.